Hi guys. So how are you? Everything fine? So you can write your questions in the chat. I will answer them later and let's get started. What the ideal plot for my tiny house looks like and why I've moved so many times. My tiny house journey, stop by stop. Ever since I got my tiny house, I've been searching for a place where I can truly settle. The past 12 months have been a series of temporary stops, not because I enjoy moving, but because every supposed solution only worked for a short time. Each place has shown me how important peace, nature, and a stable environment are for me. Ismaning, November 2024. A farm that didn't work out. The first attempt was in November 2024 on a remote farm in Ismaning. I lived there for 3 days, but the family changed their minds. They were used to being completely alone on their isolated property. Altmühltal, December 2024, an almost fully booked tiny house settlement. In December 2024, I moved on to the Altmühltal, into a tiny house settlement with 20 spots, only 2 of which were still available. The idea was beautiful, a little village just for tiny houses, almost a finished community. But then came the message. My tiny house wouldn't be approved there. Thankfully, I was released from the contract. Niederkaltenkirchen, May and June 2025. First camping, then 4 weeks in the car. After the Altmühltal came Niederkaltenkirchen. In May 2025, I lived at a camping site while checking out the property and preparing everything. In June 2025, I slept in my car directly on the property and had the gravel and excavation work done for the future tiny house spot. But despite all effort, I couldn't find any rest at night. Barking dogs, music, voices, cars. If you can't sleep, you can't stay. So I kept searching. Tegernsee, July to November 2025. A paradise that wanted me gone after 1 week. In July 2025, I came to the Tegernsee. At first, I lived in my car on the campsite, and later, after the delivery of my tiny house, in the tiny house itself. The surroundings were breathtaking. Mountains, a lake straight out of a fairy tale, refreshing mountain streams, walking paths right outside the door. But 1 week after my tiny house was delivered, the campsite owner's mother, who owns 50%, told me I needed to find somewhere else. She said she didn't want tiny houses there and had assumed I was self sufficient. What exactly did she think? That I produce my own drinking water, generate my own electricity, and magically transform my wastewater and trash into compost? So, as beautiful as Tegernsee was, I had to move again. November 2025. 4 weeks in a village near Pfarrkirchen. In early November 2025, I found a room in a village near Pfarrkirchen with a parking spot for my tiny house. I stayed there for 4 weeks. But the reason for moving again was obvious. The bus connection was extremely poor, far too poor to maintain a normal life. And the pizzeria guests and the many friends and of the residents who parked their cars next to my tiny house and stood around talking were bothering me anyway. Now, moving on, December 5th, 2025, to the area near Weilheim. On Friday, December 5th, 2025, I'll move again, this time to the area near Weilheim. Once again, a room in a house and a spot in the garden for my tiny house. But unlike the previous place, this one actually fits my needs. Why I chose this place. A garden view from where I park. No pizzeria in the same building or next door. No constant traffic passing by my window. Beautiful hiking trails right outside. Closer to my father and my son Lucas. More job opportunities. Chance for a part-time job. Chance to afford a car. What truly matters? More peace, more nature, more family. More quiet, more nature, and 2 of my 3 closest family members nearby. That is priceless. Stay tuned. The journey continues. Stay tuned to see what happens next. Follow my YouTube channel, Mona's Home on Wheels, and subscribe to my blog so you don't miss anything. As always, all videos appear first on Patreon. Park it where you love it. No questions? See you next time. Bye bye.